They're watching you, not because you're loud, not because you're famous, but because your presence speaks to something ancient in them, something they forgot existed within themselves. Itself, every eye, whether it admits it or not, finds its way to you. And no, you didn't ask for it, but the light within you demands attention without saying a single word. That's not ego, that's divine positioning. You were placed here to disrupt comfort zones, to awaken sleeping souls, and sometimes to expose demons in disguise. You see, people don't just watch you because they admire you. Some watch because they can't decode you. You move in silence, but it's not empty, it's full of weight. You carry divine codes, you carry spiritual passwords, and they feel that, even the ones pretending they don't, especially them. You don't fit the mold, and that unsettles them. You don't play their games, and that unnerves them. They watch you because something in you threatens their illusion. It calls out their masks. It disrupts their shadows. You're the kind of person people talk about in rooms you've never stepped foot in. Not because you did something wrong, but because your existence convicts them. Your humility is intimidating. Your discipline is frightening. Your refusal to fold makes them question their own weakness. And here's the truth, most won't say out loud, you became the mirror they didn't want to face. That's why they're watching so closely. They want to understand you, decode you, imitate you, but they'll never be able to duplicate you, because what you carry didn't come from this world. It came from divine fire, from trials that would have destroyed anyone else. There's a reason why your journey feels heavier. There's a reason you can't walk like everyone else, talk like everyone else. You were sculpted for something sacred, and sacred things get studied, not because they want to praise it, but because they want to contain it. That's why they follow your every move. That's why they try to find your flaw, but they're wasting time, because what you carry isn't performance, it's purpose. And purpose doesn't crumble under pressure. It gets clearer. You ever notice how people will act like they don't see you, but mimic your every move behind closed doors? That's spiritual surveillance. That's what happens when you walk in divine alignment. Inspired, others are offended, but either way, they notice, because chosen ones carry the kind of vibration that can't be ignored. You're not just walking through rooms, you're shifting atmospheres, and deep down, they feel it, that unease. Even the ones smiling in your face feel the heat of your calling. It's not paranoia, it's spiritual discernment. You were designed to be observed, not for your downfall, but for your difference. You see things others overlook. You move according to a higher blueprint, and that makes you unpredictable to the world. They can't label you, can't trap you, can't box you in. So instead, they watch closely, silently, hoping to find the secret. But here's the part they'll never understand. Your secret is obedience. You move when God says move. You stop when heaven says pause. And no one can track that kind of power unless they're tapped into the same source. They're watching because deep down they know you're marked. That kind of divine aura doesn't come from training. It comes from transformation, from walking through fires, from battles that left you breathless but never broken. That's why your silence is loud. That's why your presence speaks. That's why they observe your life like it's a prophecy, because it is. You're a living reminder that God still moves, still chooses, still anoints. And for some people, that's terrifying. Because if God still chooses people, it means their excuses have to die. You became the proof, the evidence that purpose can't be hidden, that favor can't be faked, that glory can't be manufactured. And that's why they watch you closely. Every word you say, every post you make, every move you take. They study it like a blueprint, because deep down they want to figure out how you're still standing, how you're still glowing, how you're still rising, even after everything meant to break you. But here's what they don't realize. You're not standing because you're strong. You're standing because you're surrendered. You didn't survive because of strategy. You survived because of spirit. And that's the kind of thing they'll never be able to steal. Because you didn't get it by climbing. You got it by dying to ego, to flesh, to pride. You got it by going low when everyone else was trying to go high. That's why the oil on your life is thick. That's why the favor is undeniable. That's why the protection is impenetrable. They watch you because they feel it, even if they can't explain it, even if they roll their eyes, even if they pretend you're just lucky. Something in them knows you were chosen, you were preserved, you were marked, not by man, but by God. And that kind of mark cannot be removed, cannot be erased, cannot be imitated. It can only be revealed. And now, that revealing is happening in real time. That's why they're watching more than ever, because the prophecy is unfolding, and you are the vessel. People will say they don't watch you, but they do. Not always out of love, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of jealousy. But either way, eyes are on you. Because when God elevates someone, it demands attention, not to boost your ego, but to glorify His name. You are the canvas, but He is the artist, and every stroke of your life is a testimony in progress. Reveals something spiritual, so let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder, because what God is doing in you, through you, and around you is bigger than their comprehension. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be light. And light attracts everything, from moths to miracles, from angels to watchers. But don't shrink, don't hide, don't water down your glow just because it makes people squint. You were made to be consecrated, are a living disruption to mediocrity, a walking contradiction to every curse spoken against you. And now they're watching in disbelief, because what was meant to destroy you became the very thing God used to develop you. Every betrayal, every loss, every lonely season, it all built the oil. And now that oil is drawing eyes, because heaven doesn't anoint publicly what it didn't crush privately. You were crushed quietly, privately, but now ... you're rising, radiantly, publicly, and they can't look away, because when a chosen one steps into their timing, it changes the room. It shifts the climate. It rattles the atmosphere. You don't need a title. Your presence preaches. You don't need a microphone. Your silence shakes them. And even when you're quiet, the spiritual realm is loud with your name, because the chosen are never invisible, even when they feel overlooked. Heaven announces you before man ever does. That's why you feel watched. You're not imagining it. The pull is real. The tension is real. But so is the assignment. And your job is not to appease the crowd. It's to obey the call. They can watch, but they can't stop it. They can observe, but they can't own it. Because what God placed on your life doesn't need validation. It only needs your yes. them keep their eyes on you. Because while they're watching your life, they're also witnessing God's hand. And one day, they'll have no choice but to admit it was never luck, it was never chance, it was divine. Front row, watching it all unfold.